Welcome back to 9.09ers YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Coach Ervin and with me is Coach Brian. We are 9.09er. Recently, we uploaded a video on phrasal verbs, but we received a lot of emails saying, how come Niner is so unfair and you're only focusing on English in general or IELTS specific topics? That's why we don't want you to fret. We want you to know that we hear you. That's why we're coming up with a new video, but this time, still talking about phrasal verbs, but in the context of OET or Occupational English Test. Let's begin by asking Sir Brian. Sir Brian, for those who missed our previous video on phrasal verbs, what are phrasal verbs and how important are these to get a decent score in any English examination?
That's a great question. Phrasal verbs are verbs combined with a particle. Sometimes the particle can be a preposition or an adverb, and it gives a different definition to the verb that you are able to read. So usually phrasal verbs are used to show a more advanced level of lexical resource or vocabulary to your examiners. So when you use them, you're able to show that your English is not basic, that you have very advanced English levels. So here we have a lot of phrasal verbs. This is an entire handout. You can find this on our website when you visit our website www.nineronline.com and enroll in our Platinum Review package for OET. We have this on PDF, and this is downloadable and printable, like what we did right now. We printed it so that we have a hard copy. So let's get started with today's discussion.
Initially, I looked at the handout and I noticed we have more than 35.
Correct.
It's just that we don't have all the time in the world to talk about the 35 of them. Sir Brian actually chose 5 and we're going to focus on the 5. Let's begin with Sir Brian's first pick. Well, he is the nurse by profession and a registered teacher by profession. That's why he is the master in OET. So I asked him to pick 5 phrasal verbs that we're going to discuss for today's video.
Let's start with the first one. The first one that I've chosen is look out. When you're saying, for example, that you're looking out for signs and symptoms of complications, then it means to say that you're actually cautious and you're being more aware. So the meaning of the phrasal verb look out is to beware.
The good thing with this handout, it's not just enumerating phrasal verbs. It actually gives you an idea of the correct meaning and how you can properly use this in the right context. In fact, we have sample sentences. Sometimes it's not enough that you define or you explain. You need to give your learners an idea how they are supposed to be used in a sentence. So as Sir Brian mentioned earlier, and I would like to emphasize now, if you're already enrolled at 9.09er, all you have to do is to go to ninerenglish.com. Click Access Your Dashboard and then go to the OET Platinum package. However, if you're not enrolled at 9.09er, we have a free trial open for all nationalities. All you have to do is to visit our website. Once again, that's ninerenglish.com. Sign up for your free trial. Pick either IELTS or OET. So we're done with one phrasal verb. That's look out. Let's take a look at the second choice of Sir Brian.
Here's another one. It's flare up. So flare up means to say that it comes back again. Okay, so there was a previous medical condition and it probably recovered for a time and it started flaring up again, which means to say it went back. Okay, so here's an example. The problem flared up and disturbed Mr. Smith a lot. So it means to say that the problem has recurred.
We always fulfill our promises. We don't just give you the phrasal verb. We tell you the correct context in which it should be used. Plus, there's a model sentence. So the next time around you want to use that phrasal verb, you already have an idea how it's supposed to be used in a sentence. So guys, it's important for you to know that in any English examination, whether it's IELTS, OET, PTE, TOEFL, or SHOPEE, vocabulary is always one of the components that examiners are looking at in your performance. Whether it's writing or speaking, one thing's for sure, your examiner will always check your lexical resource. Now, speaking of lexical resource, there are two things I'd like you to know. Number one is accuracy. So it has to be correct. And number two, why do we insist that you use phrasal verbs? Because this is upper intermediate, okay? This is advanced level. So you show your examiner that you have accuracy and you have range at the same time. This will help you to come up with sophisticated language. And remember, why be satisfied with a B when you can go for an A in OET writing and OET speaking? And mind you, phrasal verbs will help you in getting the highest grade for OET. So we're done with two. Let's move on to the third example.
The third example is cut out, which means to say that you stop doing something. Okay, so when you cut out something or cut something out, and interestingly, this can be used two ways. You can say cut out or cut, and then there's an object, then you can write out. So it's a separable phrasal verb. So here's an example. I've decided to cut meat out from my diet. So it means to say that you stopped eating meat.
So as you can see, these phrasal verbs are very helpful. The reason why some candidates are not able to get the required band score is maybe because they have limited vocabulary. That's because they are not exposed to the correct materials. In any English examination, preparation is everything. So if you are provided with correct information and your lecturers debunk the misconceptions, when you unlearn what is wrong and when you are taught what is right, passing the examination isn't so insurmountable. So let's take a look at the remaining sample phrasal verbs that are helpful in OET.
Okay, so this one's very helpful for vaccination, and that is get a jab. All right, so when you say get a jab, it means to say that you are vaccinated. For example, have you gotten your flu jab yet? Very useful in the speaking role play if you're talking about vaccination with your interlocutor.
4 down, and we only have one phrasal verb left to discuss. Without further ado, Sir Brian, what's the fifth one?
This is useful for speaking mostly, but you can also report it in writing. And the phrasal verb that I would want to talk about is pass out. The meaning of pass out is not to hand in something or to give something to a person, but to faint. All right. So if you say I passed out, then it means to say you fainted.
Well, in IELTS, you don't say, I passed out my IELTS, okay? It's so you passed your IELTS, you passed your English exam, but you don't pass out your IELTS, you don't pass out your OET. So Sir Brian gave you 5 phrasal verbs, plus how to use them correctly in a sentence. But I have with me here some other examples so that you might be interested to download this handout from your nineronline.com website. So there's run over, there's pass away, there's fight off. We have some more here like break out, wear out. What else? There's cough up, throw up. We also have come down, rule out. All these and more available at ninerenglish.com. So apart from the phrasal verbs, apart from medical collocations, apart from medical abbreviations, Sir Brian, what else do our subscribers worldwide expect to get as benefit if they join or if they sign up for a free trial when they go to ninerenglish.com?
So these are all language lessons involving OET, but you also get sample case notes and responses for them, which are at different levels. So there are some that we approximate to be at C plus, or some that might get the B. And we have also comments and suggestions for each one of those case notes. We also have, and this is very interesting, sample role play performances, all recorded inside your dashboard. You can listen to a role play between an interlocutor and a candidate, and you will actually be able to internalize how it's going to go in the actual examination. This is a very good way to familiarize yourself with how the examination is going to go in the actual examination. And we have also lessons for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And we have sample computer delivered examinations for OET listening and OET reading, all original. And you get your test results or your feedback instantly. It's sent over to your email. You just take the examination and you get the feedback right away, instantly. You just have to type your correct email. So we have a lot of inclusions in your platinum package for OET.
We know how difficult it is to look for reliable materials for OET. That's why 9.09ers Platinum Review Package has computer delivered practice tests for listening and reading, for writing, more than 25 case notes, not just for nursing and medicine, but our content developers also came up with content or writing case notes for the other professions who are taking the OET. For speaking, we have more than 20 role play cards. There are model responses, and there is sample audio delivery. There's sample audio delivery. You get to hear the nurse talking to a patient, or a doctor talking to a patient, or a nurse or doctor talking to a fellow healthcare professional. Not just that, but our Platinum Review dashboard also contains lessons for grammar, vocabulary, spelling, pronunciation, accent neutralization. That's why your subscription to our Platinum Review dashboard will go a long way. The 2023 is going to be our year, as we already have an idea of the new content that we're going to upload. So if you are excited, in the same way that we are excited, all you have to do is to visit ninerenglish.com, sign up for your free trial, or once you're enrolled, just access your dashboard. Thank you for your time in watching our recent video, and to cater to the other examinees of other English tests, the next two videos are for PTE or Pearson Test of English. Watch out, because every week we upload a new content. Once again, this is Coach Brian and Coach Ervin of 9.09er. Thank you for today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.